Deep in the misty mountains of Japan, where tradition and nature intertwine, an ancient battle rages, one fought in near silence, unseen by most. This is the war between the Japanese honeybee and its most feared predator, the giant hornet. It begins with a single scout, a lone assassin gliding through the air, searching for food to sustain its monstrous colony. The hornet's body is a weapon, massive, armored, built for destruction. Its mandibles can tear through the defenses of a hive in seconds, and its venom is strong enough to dissolve flesh. But what makes the hornet truly dangerous is its strategy. Unlike other predators that hunt alone, giant hornets work in coordinated strikes. If this scout returns to its nest, it will bring an army, and by the time the bees realize what's happening, it will be too late. The hive will be reduced to a wasteland of shredded wings and decapitated bodies. The honey, the larvae, the entire colony, wiped out in mere hours. But today, the hornet has made a mistake. It has chosen to attack a species that has spent millions of years perfecting the art of survival. In the depths of the hive, the bees detect the intruder. They release a wave of pheromones, an alarm signal that spreads through the colony like an invisible fire. European honeybees, when faced with a similar threat, would react in panic, fighting desperately, stinging hopelessly, only to be massacred by the superior predator. But Japanese honeybees do something completely different. They remain still. They wait. Their greatest weapon is not brute force. It is patience, precision, and the ability to turn the hornet's own weakness against it. The scout, emboldened by the lack of resistance, moves further into the hive, completely unaware of the trap being set. Meanwhile, high in the forest canopy, the hornet's own colony is a fortress of destruction. The nest is enormous, built from fibers and saliva, expanding daily as the workers carve out more room for their queen and her thousands of larvae. To sustain this ever-growing empire, the workers must bring in constant food, protein for the young, energy for the adults. Their primary target? Honeybee colonies. A single successful raid can fuel their hive for weeks. But the nest itself is not without its problems. It is summer, and with so many bodies crammed together, the heat is becoming unbearable. Even these apex predators have a weakness: temperature regulation. The workers frantically fan their wings, circulating air, ensuring their queen doesn't overheat. This is the first hint at the vulnerability that will soon cost them dearly. Back in the hive, the bees continue their silent ambush. The scout hornet, oblivious to the danger, marks the hive with a scent, a pheromone signal that will guide the coming onslaught. But as soon as the chemical is released, the bees make their move. In an instant, the hive erupts. Hundreds of bees surge forward, not to sting, but to engulf. The hornet is buried under a writhing mass of golden bodies, completely immobilized. It thrashes violently, trying to fight back, but the bees hold it tight, pressing their bodies against its exoskeleton. And then they begin to vibrate. This is the most ingenious counterattack in the insect world. Japanese honeybees have evolved to tolerate higher temperatures than their enemies by just 2 degrees. It doesn't sound like much, but in nature, even the smallest advantage can mean the difference between survival and extinction. The bees rapidly contract their flight muscles, generating heat in a process similar to how mammals shiver to stay warm. The temperature inside the swarming ball begins to rise: 40 degrees Celsius, 42 degrees Celsius, 44 degrees Celsius. The hornet is still fighting, but its movement slow. It is suffocating, boiling alive in real time. At exactly 46 degrees Celsius, the breaking point is reached. The hornet's internal organs shut down. The once mighty killer collapses, defeated not by stingers or brute force, but by an ability it never evolved to counter. The bees, sensing the mission is complete, begin to disperse. The lifeless husk of their enemy drops to the hive floor. The scent mark is still there, a lingering call to war, but without its messenger, the attack will never come. The hive is safe, for now, but the battle is never truly over. Elsewhere, other hornet scouts are making it back to their colonies, And when they do, the real nightmare begins. A fully assembled attack force can consist of 30 to 50 giant hornets, and against them, most bee colonies stand no chance. Within minutes of their arrival, the slaughter is underway. Hornets don't kill just to feed, they dismember their prey. They bite off the heads of the worker bees, toss their corpses aside, and rip through the hive's defenses with chilling efficiency. Their goal is not only to kill, but to occupy. Unlike most predators that simply eat and leave, hornets take over the hive, using it as their own personal feeding ground, feasting on bee larvae and honey until nothing remains. But nature is relentless in its cycle of war and adaptation. As hornets grow stronger, so too do the bees. Those that survive develop stronger coordination, faster communication, and even more precise temperature control, ensuring that their heat trap remains the ultimate defense. Over time, this evolutionary arms race has made the Japanese honeybee one of the most resilient species on Earth. For beekeepers like Yamaguchi, this war is not just a spectacle of nature, it is a battle that determines his survival as well. Every autumn, as the hornets become more desperate for food, his hives become prime targets. He uses ancient methods to protect his bees, setting traps and guarding the colonies with patience. But no human intervention can fully stop what has been happening for millions of years. This is a conflict older than civilization itself, a battle that will continue long after we are gone. As the seasons change and winter approaches, the hornet colony, once so powerful, begins to fade. The queen, having laid the foundation for a new generation, will soon die. The workers, their purpose fulfilled, will perish, and only the young queens, newly hatched and ready to start again, will survive, spreading out into the forest to begin the cycle anew. The bees, too, will endure. Those that made it through the brutal season will retreat into their hives, living off the honey they fought so hard to protect. They have earned their survival. But when spring comes and the forests bloom once again, the war will begin anew. The hornets will return stronger than ever, and the bees will be ready. This is not just a fight for survival, it is evolution in action, a testament to the relentless will of nature's warriors.